Hello, my name is Jeffrolka. I want to thank you for checking out my video. I frequently mention transposition or transposing, which is to say taking a song from one key and putting it into another. And I offer a lot of different reasons. But one that kind of slips under the radar a little bit is best said by Nigel Tufnell of Spinal Tap. Now, if you haven't seen Spinal Tap, treat yourself. It is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing to watch. For those who have tender ears, it's a little bit profane. There's a lot of swearing involved. But I digress. Nigel Tufnell is showing the director a piece that he is writing. And in this little clip, and you can check it out, there's a clip there for you. In this clip, he says that he's written the piece in D minor, the saddest of all keys, that people just spontaneously burst into weeping when you play in the key of D minor. Now, I realize that they're kind of having a laugh and all that in the video, but I think he's kind of put his finger on something here, which is to say that we are all different, we have different voices, and exploring different key areas, whether it's a cover song or one that we've written, can offer us glimpses into different ways that our voices operate, different modes of expression. They can inspire different changes and ultimately expand our artistic palette. And that is why I primarily am such an advocate for transposition. So I'm going to show you in a step-by-step way how to do it in this video. I'm going to use a song by way of example that has a fairly simple chord structure, but I'm going to take you through one step at a time. The first thing that we need when we're going to try this out is to have chords for a song. Now, if we want to do a real deep dive, we could write out the melody and then do the transposition that way too. But for the scope of this video, we're going to stick to just transposing the chord changes and then relying on your aural skills, your ear training, to then help you learn the melody, to shift it over to the key that you've moved to. So, the song I'm going to use is an old Beatles tune called Tell Me What You See. The chords for the first couple lines are on screen, and it sounds like this. If you let me take your heart, I will prove to you. So you have G, C, D, G, G, C, G, G. Step one, identify the key that you are in and get the major scale. This song happens to be in the key of G. The G major scale looks like this. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. That collection of notes makes G major. Whatever octave I play it in, still G major. A lot of times in music, that sharp symbol for the F sharp will be put in the key signature, and you won't see it written out in the music, but it's implicit that the Fs in G major are always going to be F sharp unless otherwise noted. Now, this is where the dive gets a little bit deeper for us here, because for me, what really helped me become adept at transposition was looking at the structure of the song in a way that let me take a step between one key and another. It was difficult for me to look at it as all these letters and then make a translation to another set of letters that I would then play on the piano. What worked particularly well was Roman numeral analysis. And so Roman numerals with the G major scale correspond to the chords and the chord qualities of the chord built off any given scale degree. So our Roman numerals look like this. Some might say, why not just use regular numbers? The reason why is because if you were to take this a step further and do a complete harmonic and melodic analysis of the song, we would use Arabic numerals for the notes of the melody, and so it very quickly gets confusing. Additionally, if you had inversions of chords, you would use Arabic numerals or regular numerals to denote the inversions. So for chords, we use Roman numerals. The uppercase Roman numerals denote major tonalities. So for the chord built off of the tonic G, you have an uppercase Roman numeral 1. For the chord built off C, you have an uppercase Roman numeral 4. For D, uppercase Roman numeral 5. A, B, and E all have lowercase numerals 2, 3, and 6 respectively. And you'll notice that the F sharp has Roman numeral 7 with a little circle next to it. This is to denote that it's not just minor, it is in fact diminished. The triad built off the 7th scale degree of any major scale is diminished. This is the key to getting from one key to the next, because now we can look at our song and instead of seeing G, C, D, G, C, G, G, whatever it's going to be, it is for that song, it's G, C, D, G, G, C, G, G. Instead of looking at it that way, what we can do is we can replace the letters with Roman numerals. So for example, here we have G in the chord changes for Tell Me What You See, all labeled with Roman numeral 1s. All of a sudden, in my opinion, the amount of information we have to process has gone down immensely. Instead of 5 instances of this G major chord, we're just processing the one chord 5 times. To me, to my eyes, it makes it a lot easier. Next up, we have the 4 chord. Once again, we now have the uppercase Roman numeral 4s where the C chords are. And again, in my opinion, it reduces our workload. Instead of these different chords, we just have 2 instances of the 4 chord. True, it was like that before when it was C, but I find this easier to process, easier to keep track of, particularly when we get to the stage where we're actually moving to the next key area. Finally, we have the D major triad that's left, and that gets our Roman numeral 5, and that completes the chordal analysis of this section of the song. Now, instead of looking at it as G, C, D, G, G, C, G, G, we can see 1, 4, 5, 1, 1, 4, 1, 1. In my opinion, this also makes it a lot easier to remember the song. I tend to remember songs not so much based on the actual names of the chords, but on the Roman numerals, the chord progressions. So for example, if you've ever heard of someone talk about a 5 chord in a tune, this is where that comes from. The D is the 5 chord of G, C is the 4 chord, A would be the 2 chord. Now, next up, we have to take a look at our scales again, because we're going to move this from G major, and I've chosen F major to move it to. And we're going to take our G major scale with our Roman numerals and put F major there alongside of it. So here we have G major, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. We have our Roman numerals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, diminished 7, and then we return to the 1 chord. And here we have the F major scale below it, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and we return to F. And admittedly, I've done this a few times, but all of a sudden, it seems really, really clear to me what my chord changes are going to be when I go back to Tell Me What You See. We start off by plugging in those F major triads where the 1 chord is. So now you see we have 5 instances of the F major triad. They're lining up with the G triad. So you've got G chords and F chords. The Roman numerals are still there. Let's get the B flat chords in, because those were the 4 chords in our song. So there you have B flat there in the second half of the first bar and B flat later on, 2 instances of that. And finally, the only remaining chord is the 5 chord, and there you have the C in that column there with D and the Roman numeral 5. And that's it. That's all there is to doing this transposition. So now we've got if you let me take your heart, I will prove to you This method of transposition will work with just about any song in Western tonal music. As long as you can get the chords, figure out what key you're in, and then figure out the scale for the key that you wish to go to, you can do this transposition. And after a while, it becomes very, very second nature. It's worth noting as well that there are pretty predictable patterns that typically occur in popular music. So if you're mostly playing popular music, you're most likely going to end up being, if you're familiar with those chord changes, which most of us are, so many songs rely on that chord progression. 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4, wash, rinse, do it again, repeat. That being able to make the transpositions quickly and easily and on the fly ultimately won't take very much time or practice at all. As always, I hope this helps. My name is Jeff. Take really good care of your voices. Enjoy exploring transpositions and seeing what new modes of artistry they inspire in you, and hopefully I'll see you again. Bye.